podcast guest. And then 2, we also get our first comedian. So, I mean, we knocked out 2 things out the mix. We got the wonderful Ryan Bourassa. You let me know if I mispronounce your name, by the way.
No, you got it. You're like the first person ever
Damn it, I'm
to actually
awesome.
get it right.
I'm a pretty good guy then.
Actually, Mike was helping me with that because I fucked it up a couple times. So I was like, yeah, you better give him the intro.
Yeah.
I fucked it up too much.
You should see the hosts that I usually have to deal with. I spent like 2 months trying to get into this one club in Boston, and I thought I became close friends with the booker. And then this night that I'm recording something that I thought was going to be really special to me, he gets my name wrong.
He just butchers it.
And I was like, oh my God. I forget what it was. It's like Bourassa or something like that. And he says it really enthusiastically.
Well, before
and it's like, I just got to know you, man.
Thought we were good.
Well, we were just warming up and looked at the name, and I was joking. I was going to let Roland introduce you, and he was going to jack it all up. I think he was going to say Barbosa or something. It was going to be pretty clever.
Ryan, I know you as Ryan, all right?
Let's keep it that way. That's fine.
What is Bourassa? Is that Canadian, or what is that?
It is French-Canadian, yes.
Look at that. I'm on top of my shit today.
It's my mom's side.
Okay. All right.
It's French Canadian. I don't know too much about it though, because I don't care.
No. Well, just so you know, we didn't want you just to come on this podcast, and we didn't do any damn homework on you. We wanted to make sure that people who are following you, because we know you have your own set of followers, and they're going to listen to podcast after podcast that you might jump on, and so we want to make sure we're not covering the same shit other people are covering. So I want to start off and just walk through a few things. You tell me where I'm wrong, because I try to do as much little warm up research. So
this is exciting.
Okay.
He does.
I'm gonna see
homework.
I'm gonna see if I know a little bit about you.
I'm pumped. All right, let's do this.
So let's start the easy stuff. So you're from New Hampshire, right?
Yes.
All right. And
job.
You've been in the comedy game about 4 years. Is that safe to say?
A little over 4 years. Yeah.
All right. And when you went out to Cali, your initial run to go out there was more about acting than comedy, right?
Holy shit! Did you listen to a previous podcast
I don't
or something?
know. I don't know what you're talking about. I think I'm just. I think I might be stalking you.
I hope I was entertaining then. Because I'm constantly worried that I'm more.
Well, we wouldn't have invited you on this one if you weren't. So.
Well, that's very nice.
One thing about us, Ryan, is before we bring anybody on, and obviously you're the first, it's very important that we look into people, because we want to bring people on that's like us, that we feel a connection with. And when we met you, started talking with you, it was just like, this is the guy. So we had to do our homework.
Yeah, we had to do a little bit.
That's the nicest thing I think I've heard from complete strangers.
We'll now call us friends.
Yeah. That's what I meant, friends. From best friends. That's the nicest thing I've heard.
All right, so let me see. I got a little bit more here. So, so eventually you did switch into comedy. So I guess I'll start there. My first real question when I heard that was, obviously the acting game wasn't for you. Is acting something you would rethink about doing again later on, or is that something that you were like, as soon as you even tried the hustle to try to get into, callbacks and things like that, it's just too much, and people are, because I understand a lot of things, especially out in Cali, are a little shady with the way people treat you and things. So is that something you might go back to?
Well, I actually wound up sort of going back to it through comedy in a way, because I've moved back and forth from California to New Hampshire like 3 times. And the first time, like you said, I did try to be an actor, but I got a couple extra gigs, didn't really go anywhere. It wasn't, and I was so broke that it was very hard for me to even get to auditions and things like that. So it went nowhere.
So what kind of acting gigs? Were you like extras in like a shampoo commercial? Were you washing your hair?
I was most notably.
You have very pretty hair.
Well, you had a good head of hair on you. So we were thinking maybe it was a Head and Shoulders, and you were proving out no dandruff on these shoulders and things like that.
I did some hair modeling when I was like 17 for like a men's salon, but. So the acting thing, I only got like 2 gigs, and it was in a German television show, which I was told is just like a knockoff of American Pie, but turned into a TV show.
What?
Wow.
Like that's what the director told me, and you can see me probably in the back. I have no idea what it's called, but it was me in the background, chest down to probably like my waist. You couldn't see my face at all, and they were telling us to act like we're at a party, and everyone was kind of an asshole, so I come to the part where they were like, okay, we need party chatter. So everybody just stand still and just start talking so that we can mix it in with the background. I just started swearing over and over again. At the time, I thought it was a lot funnier, but looking back, that's kind of probably a dick move. But
Did you?
it was all in German anyway, so it was a German.
Did you speak some German in there? Were you
No,
arguing in
not at all.
German? Or, oh, okay, all right.
Just go down the list of like ass, shit, piss. I don't. You can swear on this, right?
Oh, you can swear all day.
Well,
right.
Actually, Ryan,
we'll say you didn't do your homework because we're dirty as hell.
Dirty as shit. So
in the intro, I was just making sure.
Yeah, no, you're good. You're good.
Actually, I'm going to scare you, Ryan, because we're actually going to play an audio from that movie you're talking about. Because actually, Mike has it here. You ready?
We're going to play the video right now.
That'd be amazing.
Verdammt doch mal! Du musst was gehen. No, I'm just kidding.
Yep.
That's not. That wasn't
me.
it.
They cut it out.
You did a solid job.
The second extra gig I wound up with was, and you can actually find this online somewhere. I have it saved in my favorites or something like that.
Oh, awesome.
Because they wound up blinking everybody that was involved. I was just an extra again. They dressed everybody up in like 50s swinger clothes, and back then I had really, really long hair, so they had to put up in a ponytail.
Oh,
I looked like a complete asshole.
No,
they
rocked it.
they took everybody in whatever there's like a bar right across the street from the House of Blues in Los Angeles.
Okay.
And that's where we filmed all this stuff, and they just had people just dance in the background, and you can see me for like 2 seconds, this douchebag with a very thin beard and a ponytail, unenthusiastically dancing to fake swing music. They just grabbed like 5 black guys, and they're like, hey, you're black, so you totally play a trumpet and saxophone. Go on stage and pretend like you're playing a trumpet and it was a little racist.
They were racist as shit.
It was. I thought it was pretty funny.
And we need you to shoot a basketball real quick.
Yeah, we need you
for
to
no reason.
Break dance, even though it's a swing thing. And they had these swing dancers there that were extraordinary. Like, if I had never signed up for this, I probably would have never witnessed this firsthand.
So did you have to know swing going into this, or is it?
No.
Okay.
I was just doing, the side to side sort of just pathetic.
Gotcha.
Skinny white guy sort of dancing who knows nothing about dancing.
You were getting funky. I know. You were.
Meanwhile, the actual legit dancers that were on the floor, they were taking these women and spinning them up in the air, and then their vaginas were right in their faces. Wow. And it was a very hot atmosphere.
So after that, you were like, I need to take up swing dancing.
It probably crossed my mind.
Yeah, I am in the wrong field.
But it seems like too much work.
Yeah, no, for sure. All right, so when you did get into the comedy game, so again, let me go down my list of all about Ryan. So when so it sounds like you initially jumped into the comedy game, or at least got yourself excited about it through watching old Comedy Central specials, and I think your go-to comedian at this time, if you were to say somebody you look up to, would be George Carlin. Is that right?
I would say that throughout my entire life, I was watching The Daily Show and the half-hour Comedy Central specials and Premium Roast and all that sort of stuff. Premium Blend rather. So I would watch that a lot, and then once I hit probably like 18 or so, I was introduced to George Carlin just randomly. I started really thinking more about the world around me and started thinking about things like religion and how kind of weird it is and all that sort of stuff. And then George Carlin just clicked with me. Nice. And I was absolutely absorbed. And then, like I said, that was probably around 18. And then I wound up thinking a lot about, like, I really want to get into the entertainment business. I want to do something along the lines of what he's doing in terms of, like, speaking personally about strong opinions on things and not being apologetic about it. And so I started doing sketches, and then, I grew up and I hated all of them because they're all horrible. You'll never be able to find them on the internet because I erased everything, how embarrassed I was. And years later, probably when I was like 23 or so, I saw Gary Goldman live at the Beantown Comedy Vault in Boston, which is now a changed name. But I saw him and I was like, son of a bitch, I've seen him on TV before. And he is so funny. And he picked on me because I was right up front, and I was like, my heart melted because I'm like, this is amazing. This guy is incredibly funny. And from that moment on, I was like, I need to just write, and I need to do it at least once. And right around that time, I met a very close friend of mine, Lauren Bancroft, who's also a comedian, who is really interested in getting on Saturday Night Live. Like, that's her life goal. And so we moved in together, and I just started writing comedy as I was working at Walmart. which was a plethora for jokes.
Oh yeah, that's comedy there all day.
Actually, I have a question about that, but I'm going to hold my question. But
But that's basically I saw my first live comedy show and I was like, I really need to try this because I love comedy. I've always loved Jon Stewart. I love those guys. And then, once I became an adult or whatever you want to call it, I really started focusing on atheist comics and stuff like that.
Sure.
And I was like, this is definitely